I'll try to work tomorrow, but no guarantee. Okay. Is it due tomorrow?
Yeah. She has to
You didn't tell me that.
She has an application.
Well, I guess I'll do it tomorrow.
Don't blame me. Blame
Jane?
Jane.
Yeah.
I just said yes, I think she'd be awesome. That's all I did.
No, I'm applying for a different board.
I had a message until I was on the phone with Jane last night. I didn't realize it was due tomorrow either. And I was like, well, how
Well,
much
that's Jane,
time
though.
does she have?
Jane does that all the time.
Yeah, I said, well, how much time does she have? And she was like, it's due tomorrow. Or something. What?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. That's like, I was just like, what? Oh, okay. Because I had to update my resume. I haven't updated my resume in 6 years.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I was worried.
People coming back from home.
I only went full speed.
Yeah.
I don't like it. I wonder what they thought of us.
But thank you.
Back when-
You can say.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right. We're here. Let's get started. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the May 14th City of Sierra Vista Council meeting. Madam Clerk, we have roll call, please.
Mayor Rick Miller,
Present.
Mayor Pro Tem Rachel Gray,
Present.
Member William Ben,
Present.
Councilmember Gwen Calhoun,
Present.
Councilmember Sarah Pacheco,
Present.
Councilmember Carolyn Humphrey,
Present.
Councilmember Christine Wolf.
Present.
Mr. Mayor, you have a quorum.
Thank you, Mrs. Adams. We'll now do the invocation and pledge of allegiance, and I'll do the invocation tonight instead of Ms. Humphrey, and then we'll do the pledge of allegiance will be led by Ms. Gray. Would you please stand? Heavenly Father, we'd like to thank you for this day, an opportunity to serve the citizens of Sierra Vista as a council. I also want to thank you for the great citizens of this community, not only those that serve in hospitals, fire, police, grocery stores, retail stores, and others that have been critical to ensure the community remains safe in this pandemic. I also want to thank you for our great regular citizens who've gone out of the way in these troubling times to do the right thing to not only protect themselves but also to help their neighbors. We certainly have been blessed through your grace with a great community. In your holy name we pray. Amen.
Please join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Mrs. Gray. Please be seated. Now move on to item number 1, acceptance of the agenda. Mrs. Calhoun.
Mr. Mayor, I move the agenda for the regular city council meeting of May 4th. Move that the agenda for the regular city council meeting of May 14th, 2020 be approved as written.
Second.
It's been seconded. Before I'll call for the question, I would ask if there's any objections to me adding the reading of the proclamation for Memorial Day as the next item, which is not shown on the agenda. Any objections?
No.
Okay. Without objection, all those in favor of accepting the agenda?
Aye.
Opposed? It's unanimous. Next, I'll read the proclamation for Memorial Day. Obviously, Memorial Day is going to be on the 25th on Monday, and we won't have our next meeting until the 28th. My understanding right now is there will not be a formal ceremony at the cemetery at this time. That may change between now and then, but I want to go ahead and read the proclamation to make sure we honor the folks appropriately. It's my honor and privilege as mayor of the city of Sierra Vista to offer the following proclamation on behalf of the good citizens of Sierra Vista. Whereas every generation of Americans have been called upon to defend the founding ideals of our republic, and whereas the first official observance of Decoration Day was held in 1868 at Arlington National Cemetery, And in 1971, U.S. Congress declared the last Monday of May to be the national holiday and changed its name to Memorial Day. And whereas Memorial Day is an opportunity to pay tribute to the men and women of our nation who paid with their lives so that we might enjoy the freedom they so valiantly preserved for us. And whereas our nation continues to fight terrorism, promote peace and freedom, let us honor all of our fallen, their commitment to our country, and their legacy of patriotism and sacrifice. Now, therefore, be it resolved that I, Frederick W. Mueller, Mayor of the City of Sierra Vista, Arizona, do hereby proclaim May 25th, 2020 to be Memorial Day in and for the City of Sierra Vista. In witness whereof I hereby set my hand and cause the great seal of the City of Sierra Vista to be affixed. This is the 25th day of May, the year of our Lord, 2020, and the independence of the United States of America, 243rd. Signed, Frederick Mueller, Mayor. We next go on to the City Manager Report. Mr. Patuchik.
Thank you, Mayor Mueller, members of the council. Our next regularly scheduled work session will be Tuesday, May 26th, 3 p.m. council chambers. And of course, the next council meeting will be May 28th at 5 p.m. also here at the council chambers. I anticipate that those meetings will be held much like the one that were held this week, and then we'll look at June for going to regular council meeting venues and that type of thing, and opening the building to the public at that time. Reminder, as the mayor mentioned, Memorial Day is the 25th, and city offices will be closed that day as well. Today's my day to spend time with our county partners and a couple of boards that I sit on. The CCOM GA board met this morning at CCOM, and we approved the budget for next fiscal year. You'll be seeing this in your budget presentations coming up. We anticipate a cost for CCOM to be approximately $127,000 more than last fiscal year. The reason for that is we had to upgrade the software system for the radios. That was $4.3 million contract that was entered into. As such, we're divvying the cost up with the county, since the city and county are the main radio users for that. So the county pays a 64% share, and we pay 36% share. Next year will be the largest cost year for this upgrade, and we're working on approving a agreement with the county and the CCOM for a 4-year lease deal for the upgrade. So that should come back down after next year. The old system had to be upgraded. Windows system, or Windows 7, would not have been supported going forward. So you'll see that in the budget. And the rate review board for the county landfill and revenue system met this morning. Very pleased to report they're going to finish the year about $400,000 in the black, and therefore there'll be no tipping fee increases, and the money that the system will owe the supervisors will be reduced to about $1.2 million. A few years ago, that started at $2.5 million. So a lot of progress has been made there as well. Finally, keeping with the governor's phase 1 reopening guidelines, I'm pleased to announce the following opening plans for our facilities. Beginning on Saturday, May 16th, our sports field will open for practices. The bleachers will be removed and social distancing encouraged. We're looking at games being allowed to start on May 26th. The skate court will be reopened. The pickleball courts will be reopened. Our basketball courts also reopened. The dog parks, small investments in parks like Ramada, Reynolds, and the farmers market take place next week. And then the tennis courts will reopen. Then on Monday, May 18th, City Hall lobby will reopen. The police Department lobby will be reopened. The Ethel Berger Center lobby will be reopened, and that includes the museum being reopened. OYCC will remain closed because of construction in the lobby that will be occurring over the next few weeks. The sports building at the Rotary Center will be reopening the front desk. The library will still remain closed, but book returns will be allowed, and curbside service will begin, and we'll be doing much like a lot of the businesses are, taking books out to cars as they drive up and their books, and the library will reopen at 11. The Cove is still closed, and we're looking at a June 1st opening for some of the swimming programs. The Public Works building will have its lobby reopened. The transit building will remain closed. So that's what we have right now. We'll be looking at other openings on May 26th and then Monday, June 8th. And we'll, of course, announce that to the council and the public as that becomes available. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Patuch. Questions for Mr. Patuch? Yes, ma'am. You're the only one with a hand up.
I apologize, Chuck, if I didn't hear you. Did you say what the guidelines are for going into any of these facilities?
Well, right now we're looking at the public coming into the lobby areas. So the buildings themselves won't be totally open yet to the public. We're taking it one step at a time. I mentioned on Tuesday there's clean supply issues, and then just everybody getting used to being with each other, both on the employee end and the public being used to coming in. So we're taking a very gradual approach to reopening. Hopefully within the next couple of weeks, as the numbers indicate, we'll be able to then fully open the buildings as long as we know we have the sanitary supplies necessary to proceed on. One thing I didn't mention, but is also important, is this morning, Cochise County was still at 43 cases, 38 out of isolation, so we're down to 5 active cases in Cochise County right now. So that helps give us a little bit more confidence in terms of reopening as well.
To more fully answer the question, I think one of the things that needs to be clear is we are asking people when they come to these facilities to practice social distancing.
That's correct.
We are not requiring masks. People feel comfortable wearing a mask. They're more than welcome to do that.
And that's on the employee side.
And that's on the employee side as well. Okay?
That's-
That's what you're looking for, I think. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
Did you have something?
I was going to mention, because you mentioned we were going to ask people to social distance, and it didn't come up in his answer. But I just thought of, with the good news of the 5 active cases, that includes the first blitz we had. So of the 511 the county tested here in Sierra Vista, 509 were negative, and then there were 2 that need to be retested because they were inconclusive.
Yeah, those are great numbers.
Yeah, there will be a blitz in Douglas this weekend, and I anticipate, that maybe we will get a few cases out of that. But so far, the trends are very encouraging for Cochise County.
Okay. Any other questions, Mr. Patuchik? Thank you, Mr. Patuchik. We appreciate your report. We'll now move on to item number 2, the consent agenda. Mrs. Pacheco.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Let's see, I move that the consent agenda consisting of the City Council regular of April 23rd, 2020, special meeting minutes of May 5th, 2020, and resolution 2020-020 termination of a development agreement concerning 2200 East Mercado Loop, Sierra Vista Mall be approved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any questions, discussion on any of the 3 items from the council?
No.
Seeing none, I'll call for the question. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? It's unanimous. Thank you very much. We now move to new business. And item number 3, Mr. Benning.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I move that resolution 2020-021, acceptance of the Arizona Department of Administration, Office of Grants and Federal Resources, Arizona 911 Program, GFR grant number GFR-ADOA-Arizona 911-21-001 be approved.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Mrs. Papatrefon, we have the presentation, please.
Good evening, Mayor and members of Council. Thank you for allowing me the opportunity to present the following resolution. 911 services allow callers to dial a standard nationwide number to reach emergency services. The calls are specifically routed to the nearest public safety answering point, or PSAP, standalone network. Each PSAP incurs monthly fees for uninterrupted service and continued equipment maintenance, replacement, and software updates. In my role as the Cochise County 911 System Administrator, we have secured a grant in the amount of $447,624. This funding has been allocated to Cochise 911 System by the Department of Administration State 911 Program Office. It is intended to cover the costs associated with monthly fees, equipment maintenance, replacement, and software updates for each PSAP in Cochise County. This award covers the fiscal period of July 1, 2020 through June 30, 2021. Does anyone have questions for me?
Questions for Mrs. Papatrefon? Thank you very much. We appreciate you being here. Any further discussion? Seeing none, I'll call for the question. All those in favor? Opposed? It's unanimous. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mrs. Papatrefon. Appreciate it. Next, we'll move on to item number 4. Ms. Wolf.
Mr. Mayor, I move that Resolution 2020-022 supporting Fort Huachuca's joint resource utilization study be approved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Mr. Boone, may we have the staff report, please?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I present to you a resolution concerning the Huachuca's Joint Resource Utilization Study. And as I said before, you may be familiar with the old name of Joint Land Use Study, or JLUS. With your approval and the final approval of the Office of Economic Adjustment, we'll be moving forward with this study. Realizing Fort Huachuca requested the study back in 2018 through Installation Management Command and the Department of the Army, and the OEA requested Sierra Vista be the executive agent. As background, the compatible use study reviews military installations in surrounding communities and their key resources into the future so that the military can sustain their mission in defense of the nation. In our case, really the studies focused on both the land use, the spectrum use, electromagnetic spectrum, as well as airspace. The previous study was conducted in 2007 for Fort Huachuca, and many significant things have happened. To name just two, the Buffalo Soldier Electronic Test Range was established after 2007, and then in 2015, Fort Huachuca was set as a Sentinel landscape. So again, two major initiatives that will have significant impact. The study itself is linked, in fact, to the Buffalo Soldier Electronic Test Range, the 2,500 square miles. As I mentioned, we'll serve as the executive agent. Additionally, we'll have roles in the policy and technical committees. From a fiscal perspective, we will have a requirement for a 10% match to the federal grant. And expected outcomes include identifying initiatives that both the city, county, state can work to minimize encroachment, quite frankly, policy or legal issues. We will be in receipt of the GIS products on things such as DoD excess property, natural resources, endangered species, and other elements. There is an element of public engagement to highlight the importance of Fort Huachuca's mission to the local communities. And in addition, it will set up for future projects that potentially OEA could fund, or we can use to work with our legislative piece or with Congress to fund additional projects on Fort Huachuca. Bottom line is, it looks to better position Fort Huachuca for the future to ensure their resiliency and mission-oriented efforts. Approximate timeline, we'd begin July of 2020 with the final report due August of 2021. So, Mr. That completes my report.
Questions for Mr. Boone? Ma'am.
Again, I may have missed something, but who is actually going to do the study?
Council member Calhoun, we'll go out for consultants.
Okay, that's what I'm.
The bulk of the grant cost, and again, it's estimated roughly $500,000 would be the consultant.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions?
I have a question.
Yeah.
Do we have examples of like the data from this type of study that we've done in the past, how it's been used?
Mr. Mayor, Council Member Pacheco, I'll probably get the language wrong. One of the things was the notification when you purchase a home or purchase property under Fort Huachuca. I can't think of the name off the top of my head. But that was something that was mentioned or added from a policy perspective in 2007. Effectively, landowners understand that they're under military restricted airspace. That's one policy issue I can think of off the top.
One of the other policy issues are if there are companies that come in and want to use certain frequencies, they have to get them cleared with the frequency manager on the installation so that they don't interfere with military operations. There are a couple little things in the past that have helped.
Okay. Like, and does it address like water use?
I would say water use is under the natural resources side.
Okay.
Okay. Any other questions? I'll call for the question. All those in favor? Opposed? It's unanimous. Thank you very much. Now move on to item number 5. Mrs. Humphrey.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I move that Resolution 2020-023, submission of the Community Development Block Grant Program Year 2020 Annual Action Plan to the United States Housing and Urban Development be approved.
It's been moved and seconded. Mr. McLaughlin, will we have the staff report, please?
Mayor, members of council, this is our 2020 application to HUD for our regular allocation of community development block grant funding. After a series of public meetings and hearings, we're proposing that funding be used to finish what we started last year in turning the former Public Works Yard at North Avenue into a recreational asset for the neighborhood. The $271,810 will be used to provide additional parking to Acacia Park, fill in a missing segment to the multi-use trail system, and any remaining budget will be used for landscaping. The action is to submit the 2020 annual action plan to HUD. Public comments have been received on this item. I'd be glad to answer any questions.
Thank you, Mr. McLaughlin. Any questions for Mr. McLaughlin?
I actually have one, but it's not just for Matt. Is this document online? Is it available online?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, that's
Available for public comment
Public.
online.
okay.
Yeah, it's been a while because we've been wrestling with this since, what, February?
Yeah, we're at the
I
finish
just
line
wanted
on
to
this
say
one.
it out loud, have it
Okay.
out loud.
Okay.
Repeat it.
Any other questions, comments?
I'll think of something in a minute.
Well, I'll go quick then.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Remind me the timeline for completing the improvements.
Well, this is third in line behind the improvement to James Landwehr Plaza and Soldier Creek Park. That will be started with the new fiscal year by engineering, and I'm hoping by springtime we'll be able to start on the construction documents for this project, with construction happening next fiscal year, or the following fiscal year.
Some projects like this will take up to 2 years, and they'll hold money for us so we can get it done. Okay. Or I'm sure that if we need to go more than 2 years, we could get an extension, but that's a whole nother process.
Okay. That's my
Okay.
question.
Any other questions? Seeing none, call for the question. All those in favor? Opposed? It's unanimous. Thank you very much. We now go on to item number 6, Mayor Pro Tem Gray.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I move that Resolution 2020-024, acceptance of the grant from the Federal Aviation Administration for CARES Act funding, be approved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Mrs. Flasaro, may we have the staff report, please?
Mr. Mayor, members of council, this agenda item will accept a Federal Aviation Administration for $30,000 of CARES Act funding for the Sierra Vista Municipal Airport. The funds can only be used for expenses related to the airport, but are otherwise reasonably unconstrained. It cannot be used for new construction, but operations, maintenance, or debt service are all eligible. If approved, funding will be used to offset the expenses associated with the Sierra Vista Municipal Airport, and no grant match is required. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Any questions?
No, sir.
Sorry for quick sidebar, but I had one council member that wanted to ask a question on each item. So I want to see who that is.
Interrupted the whole meeting.
Okay. Any other further discussion or comments? Thank you, Mrs. Lassar. I'll call the question. All those in favor? Opposed? It's unanimous. Thank you very much. We now move to call the public. We didn't have any public comment. Do we have anybody here tonight that would like to address this call to the public? Seeing nobody, we'll move on to comments and requests for council. Tonight we'll start with Mrs. Humphrey.
I just want to say good job, Matt and Tony Gunn. They were on the Chamber's live stream yesterday informing the community about the allocations we're making with the CARES Act money, and they did a really great job. And Chuck already shared the other news I was going to share because I was so excited to see that really small number 5, which got a little high there for a second, but we're headed in the right direction, and that makes me happy. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Humphrey. We now go to Ms. Calhoun.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I have nothing.
Thank you, Mrs. Calhoun. Mrs. Pacheco.
Okay. Sorry. Get comfortable. No, just kidding. I wanted to mention on the note that Councilmember Humphrey brought up that the drive-through COVID testing was brought together really quickly. So Chiricahua got the fund, was notified that they would get funding to do a quick check or be part of this push, and called me and said, do you think the city would let us, somewhere on city property, like 5 days prior? And so I was like, let's call Laura. And got it set up in 5 days and put out in 5 days that whole thing. And so I just wanted to say kudos to our Parks and Leisure for getting that. We got we're supposed to get National Guard down here to direct traffic and everything. I mean, 5 days. So kudos for that. Today and tomorrow is graduation, non-traditional graduation for Buena High School. And I just want to say congratulations to the graduates. I've seen lots of decorated cars around town, and we have graduates on our street in our neighborhood that are going through to do their drive-by graduation. And so congratulations to our senior class that's having to make do with a little different circumstance this year, but doesn't minimize their accomplishment. And then biggest news for me is that 17 years ago today, I became a mom twice over, so I'm going to cry. But happy birthday to my twin daughters who are 17 today. So I'm so proud.
Thank you, Mrs. Pacheco. Ms. Wolf, can you follow that?
And so, in fact, I have nothing.
Thank you, Ms. Wolf. Mr. Bettig.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I thought it was going to get to me with someone else saying graduation. I just want to say Sheriff is proud of our graduates, 2020 seniors, and thank you for all your accomplishments so far, and we look forward to watching you move forward with your future endeavors. Special congratulations to the class president, McKenna Heck. Known her for a long time. Very proud of her, and she's going to do great things at ASU. So that's all I have, Mr. Mayor. I get the alumni out there.
Thank you, Mr. Bettig. It's a shame she's not going to a university. Okay.
Oh, don't hate.
Ms. Gray.
I have nothing, Mr.
Okay, I want to take a minute to say I did see a Lorraine Academy car driving around all dolled up this afternoon. I thought it was great. And that's, again, another reason to be thankful for the members in our community. In adverse times, we adapt, we overcome. The high school graduations, the university graduation is coming up, the coaching college graduation, all big milestones in people's lives. And while we regret that they can't celebrate in the way we would all like to celebrate, that we certainly want to congratulate those folks that are enduring the situation and doing the best they can and being recognized for their achievement. The achievement they made is not lessened by the situation, so we want to make sure that. As Mr. Patuchik mentioned, there's a number of openings in the city, and there's a number of things that have happened with the governor's announcement this last week. But I'm going to quote from one of my heroes that we need to all realize this is not the beginning of the end of the crisis. It's the end of the beginning. We still have, or do not have, a vaccine for the virus. And so we need to still take the prudent steps to protect ourselves, protect our friends, our loved ones, our families through the next several months, even though numbers may go down. Until there's an actual virus and we actually have those people most vulnerable vaccinated, that is the beginning of the end for the coronavirus. So we're still in this game. We're going to play the game, and I would just ask people to continue to demonstrate the great patience they've had with the situation, with each other, and the caring attitude that they've had for the community. That shows what quality folks we have in the community, and that's another reason why we will come out probably better than most communities in Arizona. So I thank you for your efforts, your concern, and your caring for your fellow citizen. With that, meeting's adjourned.
Is it your dad, Ronald Reagan?